Hi everybody, I've got another fabric journal with me today, and it's got some charms on the front, some pearls and a little heart with some beads, and it says Bird of Beauty with a coffee dyed rose, and then I put a part of a crocheted doily on the cover, and there's the spine and the back. I just left with the muslin. It's made with muslin fabric. You know, I love that muslin fabric. It's just, to me, it's so natural, and I just like it. Just like it. And let's go inside and scope it out. Got some of my other favorite fabric here. And you see the doily coming from the cover on it, showing through here, which I like. It also has a muslin on the inside, and I just sewed around the edge in I guess it's a little bit darker than an ivory, and there's some gorgeous fabric there. And inside I put one of my tag booklets that I have made. Open up. There you go. There's the front, and there's the back, and it's a white burlap. It's got a lace hinge, and just coffee dyed papers that have been stitched on the edge. On this one, I took some of that grass cloth that I have, and I used it to go behind the writing paper, and then I stitched around it with some green. And then it's all got the matching threads going around it. A little birdie here, and some cards for journaling. And I used part of that yummy book. I think I showed that to you in the other video that I got at the estate sale. It was published in 1969, but it's about 1875, something like that. You know, I'm going from memory, which is not a good thing. But this is the original ephemera. Little tab here with some stitching. And comes on the other side with a little birdie and a heart. And a couple of cards. And what I like about it, and I think I said this too, and I agree with myself, I like it coming through on the other side, that you can see, you know, it's just yummy. Over here I used parts of a doily for a tuck spot. I tried to double up on the pages, because again, with a book this size, which I don't even think I measured, I'll do that at the end. You want to get as much writing space as you can, and yet you want to decorate a lot. So I sewed around the page and put a place for journaling here, and then added things for tuck spot. Look at that, isn't it pretty with the eyelash? And some journaling cards. And they lift up, so you're not going to tear it, you know. Get it right up under there. And then there's that grass cloth with the stitching. And I just let it come through on the other side. That's part of that ephemera. For skates, 81 cents a pair. It just cracks me up. Over here, I've got a piece of fabric that's been stamped on with a doily and sewn in the green. And it lifts up, and it's got some stitching behind it. And a place for journaling. Can she get that back on there? Of course not. Okay. But this holds, this is some seam binding on the end of the paper clip. Excuse me. And it holds that in place. And then it holds these from the other side. So you got some cards here for writing. A little birdie. Little birdie. And of course the stitching from the other side coming through. Pair of gloves. In case you need a pair of gloves, you can order them. There's more of that grass cloth. And more ephemera. There's a little pocket. You know, I like that contrast, so I put the white here, and then it's got the grass cloth there on the pocket with a birdie. And we have some cards for journaling here. part of a doily and some duck cloth. There we go. And stitching all the way around. Real beautiful piece of lace with the bird. I like how the green goes with the birds. It's just a nice combination. Piece of seam binding there and a clock image with the bird. And over here is stitching, and it's a double pocket. A little hummingbird, and also this is left open. So if you need to stash something, I can give a chubby finger there. You can stash something between this and this. And I put in the first section, I put a couple of small journaling cards, because you know I like to see everything, so I wanted to see the top of that. And it's got a little business card. And then behind it is also a tuck spot, or a pocket, I should say, a pocket. Another piece of ephemera sewn on there. There's some more of that grass cloth, some little eggs. More stitching. Another vintage advertisement. See how that peeps over? It's just so cool. Little birdie here with some cheesecloth and a flower and stitching. Another boot. State size wanted. Ooh, these are expensive. These are $4.19 a pair. Let that peep over there. More of the grass cloth and a little egg. Over here you've got a nice place to journal with the stitching around it. And then you've also got a tuck spot here with one of these thingies that I like to make. If you've been watching my videos, I cannot figure out a name for this thing. Card, letter, envelope. So I gave up and I'm calling it a thingy. Another ad here. Another part of that catalog there. One of the little patches I like to make. I put that in for contrast. And the green stitching. Over here, Bird of Beauty with some lace at the top and a thread that we can move. And then I stitched around that and tied that and it looked like a little bow. And it's got a couple of journaling cards in it. Bless you. I think one of the dogs sneezed. You know, I like to see everything, so I want that to come up. Another, this is really nice thick paper. Really nice. Over here is another tuck spot with some doilies here. I chose the white because it shows up really nicely. And the stitching, and then some journaling cards to journal on. And see, with one at the bottom, you don't have to worry about when you pick up the book, the cards falling out. So that's what I like. Another piece of that grass cloth with an egg here. And then in the back, it's got the matching pocket, and I just stuck some things in here. We have a music tag. You may want to do something with that or just journal with it. We have Bird Beauty. I'm not sure, but I think this is an old Ephemeris Vintage Garden, and I stitched around it. I'm not sure, but I have so many images, and I've had them for years that I can't remember who goes to who. And a recipe for fried okra. Love fried okra. Could just pig out on it. Ooh, look at that coffee dye. And of course the stitching around and around. And then we have a little mini booklet. That's got it's a music cover, and it's called The Mockingbird, with the mockingbird on the front, and it's tied with twine. And on the inside, I just put a variety of little cards for journaling. It's got some oddball papers, just different stuff, different sizes, all different Different, different, different. We like that. And then back here is a little pocket with two ladies and a vintage vehicle, and it's got some graph paper and a little coffee dyed paper for journaling. And that's got a nice little pretty scalloped edge. I need to do more of those. You know, when I make these booklets up, I do them in batches of 15 to 20. So I always have some. And when I run out, that's when I go to town again. But as I go through it, you know, because it could have been a month ago that I made these, and I find things, oh yeah, I remember I have those scissors to use, or I have that stamp, you know, kind of jars your memory. And there's the back. It's got, again, that's part of the music paper, and then this is part of a poem book. Beautiful fabric here. And a thread. It just would not be a day without a thread. Okay. I like to leave them, but I don't like them coming across the book. So I try to remove those, but I leave them on the edge. If that drives you nuts, just cut it off. There's the spine again. And the front with the little birdie charm and the rose. And I want to thank y'all for spending your Friday with me. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye, y'all.